Embrace the Absurd, the philosophy of Albert Camus. The presentation is titled after a small chapter in the book, The Art of Living a Meaningless Existence by Robert Pantano. Here's the book if you would like to check it out. So originally I was gonna tell the joke the thing is who Camus, because who and Camus they sound similar, but it's not funny anymore now that I think about it. So let's just forget about the title of this slide and talk about who Camus actually is. So Albert Camus is a 20th century philosopher and writer that is associated with the existentialism movement. Camus is famously known for his remarks on the absurd. So, what is the absurd, anyways? I'm glad you asked. Camus, when speaking of the absurd, used the example of a swordman going up against a machine gun. Camus says that the absurd lies in neither of the elements compared, meaning that the absurd isn't intrinsic to a certain object. Rather, the absurd is born of their confrontation. Therefore, as Pantano says, neither humans nor the universe on their own are inherently absurd. It is rather our relationship to the universe. Camus says that this relationship is a search for meaning in a universe that has a lack thereof. This is the absurdity. Ah, yes, Sisyphus, the reason you probably clicked on this video if you did. So, Camus uses the myth of Sisyphus as an allegory for the absurd. For those who don't know, the story of Sisyphus is about a king being punished for cheating death multiple times, essentially, and his punishment is to push a rock up a mountain, hill, whatever, for eternity, and when the rock reaches the top, it rolls down, and he repeats once more. Camus uses the futility of this task and relates it to human experience. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. What does this even mean? How can someone pushing a rock up a hill forever be happy? Well, Camus uses the myth of Sisyphus, and he says, even in this repetitive cycle of absurdity in life, we can still find happiness. He points to things that are in the background, such as the sun, the trees, the breeze, and says that these things not necessarily should be on the foreground, but they should be focused on, and the task of pushing the rock shouldn't be the only thing that we focus on. These background things are equated to family, friends, and relationships, etc., and this is in every human's life. Camus says it is up to realize this and take meaning from these things. Pantano notes that we often search for answers to life's biggest questions due to our cognitive capabilities. He notes that no matter how much we try, we always end up back at the bottom of the hill. The point of Camus' philosophy is not to eliminate absurdity, but rather to appreciate things within the absurd. Pantano says it is the absurdity of life that makes it worth living, and then relates this to what Camus wrote. Camus says that the struggle itself toward the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. Then going on to say the famous, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. Okay, so these are my thoughts. I think it does what it does pretty well. I, of course, being the nerd I am, would have liked a deeper look into Camus' The Myth of Sisyphus. But in a sense of an introduction, I think it does a pretty good job introducing the idea of the absurd, as well as providing context to the popular one must imagine Sisyphus happy. So yeah, I think would recommend the book. There are other chapters. The reason it's so short is because he goes over a lot of different kind of philosophies by different people. I think I saw Kafka, Dostoevsky is in there, Nietzsche, it's people like those. So if you're into that kind of thing, go check it out. Pretty good book.